Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're doing something a little different, and that's just cause I don't really do these types of videos where I do story times and all that shit. That's just cause there's a lot of people that do story time videos, and I just don't wanna like look like I'm copying them, you know what I mean? Like Luna, for example, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the topic of like the stories and shit, you know what I mean? Also, I would also like to say, do not ever repeat any of the things that I've done. If I ever continue to do more of these types of stories and all that shit, don't ever repeat them. Don't ever, don't even like just don't even do it just because you saw me, like just because you hear me or any other person do it. Like, just don't. It is it's bad. You know what I mean? But anyways, I just thought it'd be funny to talk about my first bad trip that I had while on shrooms. But yeah, nah. This is just the first time. Well, not the first time, just my first bad trip while on shrooms. So yeah, so it all starts off just randomly one day when my friend hits me up, and he's just like, "Yo, you want to do shrooms or whatever? You know, we can gas up and shit." And I've done shrooms in the past before this day. However, I only did chocolate bars and shit. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like less potent, I guess, or it just did not hit the same as actual shrooms and like actual shrooms do. You know what I mean? And this was gonna be my first time actually doing like real life fucking like actual mushrooms and shit, and I was feeling excited and shit. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I only did like the chocolate bars, and those didn't really hit that much as the other ones did. And so basically I picked them up and shit, and we went to go pick it up from someone and shit. Um and the second we our plan was to just get some food first and then drive out, go over to a park and shit so we can trip out at the park. And bad idea, by the way. The first thing you always want to do when you're on shrooms is always just be in a safe and secure area. You know what I mean? Outside of your house, your house is probably like the best place, or just like anyone's house. You know what I mean? But the best place is to always just do it inside of like a closed environment, unless you know someone isn't gonna be like doing that shit. You know what I mean? And he's actually gonna be good enough to, help y'all or help you calm down and shit. You know what I mean? Like a trip sitter, basically. But yeah, we were basically just gonna go trip out at the park. I don't know what we are gonna do after that. I don't think we really discussed anything after that. We are probably just gonna gas up or some shit. So that's what we did. We took the shrooms as soon as we got like food and all that shit. We were at some Popeyes. And then we went to go park at some Target because there's a Target nearby. So we parked at a Target, and it was probably like 15 minutes after we took the shrooms and shit. You know what I mean? So my friend was just eating and shit. Um, and we didn't feel it slightly kick in, but we just started. When you take shrooms and shit, you start getting hella like laughing, like euphoric, and like you start laughing for no reason and shit. You feel? So it was just like that and shit. And so after that, after a few minutes, my friend and I, we just went over into the Target bathroom because he was feeling yacked up, but he didn't like vomit or anything, so that was good. So then after that, we went back to my car, and basically that's when it started kicking in. We started fucking. We just started not like we didn't start seeing shit, or I didn't start seeing shit. You know what I mean? Because we were just in my car. But we just started fucking tweaking, just laughing for no reason. We started talking about how Instagram changed the UI and how we were just tripping over the Instagram UI changing. Like, they dead ass just changed Instagram right that moment, so we were just tweaking about it. After probably like, I say like maybe it was just an hour, because it was probably just like an hour, maybe even 30 minutes of us just chilling in my car. I said, damn, I have to go use the bathroom. So my friend stood in the car, and I went out back into the Target bathroom. Holy fucking shit, that shit, I could tell that I was on something, because the second I went out, the outside just looked so fucking different. There's something about the outside that just fucking that made it feel like a different world and shit. So then I just kept looking around. I went in. It was probably like 10 minutes before Target closed. That's how fucking late we were there. We were fucking late. We were there until Target closed, and we took the shrooms at like 8, around 8, maybe 7ish. So it takes a while to kick in and shit, you know what I mean? So I went back into my car. I noticed how it was about to close, so I was like, okay, dude, like, not gonna lie, we're gonna have to fucking get out of here soon or some shit, because I knew at least that there's always just gonna be security roaming around the parking lot, and the last thing you want to do is get in fucking lawful trouble and all that shit when you're off some fucking insane shit. You know what I mean? So I thought maybe the shrooms weren't in. You know what I mean? So weren't kicked in yet, so I'd be at least decent enough to drive. You know what I mean? The second I fucking never do this, by the way, never ever, and this is like my first and last time. This is only just because it was my only resort. You know what I mean? Because I just had no other option to. But just never ever fucking drive while on fucking shrooms, while off any fucking hallucinogen. That shit will fucking change your vision to drive and shit. You know what I mean? The second I started driving that shit, I was like, oh my fuck, bro, I'm not fucking good for this shit. I'm not cut out for this shit. You know what I mean? So I had to park again because that shit like everything in my vision just felt, I don't even know, there's something weird about driving. You know what I mean? That just does not that I was just not gonna be safe. You know what I mean? So we chilled for a bit, but it was still gonna close. So I, like a dumbass, I decided to take the risk. So I drove, and no, I did not crash. No, this did not happen at all. Like, I did not crash at all. Thankfully, I didn't. We didn't crash at all. I was actually really good at driving. But when I was driving, that shit felt like a fucking PS2 video game, basically. I felt like I was, like, in a fucking video game. That's how impaired, like, I was to, like, driving shit. You know what I mean? Like, but then we went to, like, a really close gas station. Like, we went to a gas station that was really close by. And that's where we kind of just chilled. We were just like, fuck, like, we're just gonna have to wait till one of us is like tripped out, sober up and shit. You know what I mean? So we parked, and I don't know why, but I just had this sudden like feeling that I just needed to be home. That I just wanted to go home. You know what I mean? I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm kind of like an introverted person sometimes. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just like to be by myself, but I don't know why. I just had this feeling where I was like, fuck, I need to go home. But then I just started tweaking because I was far away from home. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't far away, but it was like probably like a 10 to 15 minute drive. But you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't close to my house and shit. You know what I mean? That's the thing that was tripping me out. And I don't know why. I just like felt like fucking cops were just gonna pull up to us for some reason. So we tried gassing up just so we can calm down and shit, or just so I can calm down. Eventually I was like, fuck, bro, I just need to get out of here, bro. You know what I mean? So I tried texting and calling people to see if they can pick me up. I don't know why, bro. That was probably like my worst moment ever. I deadass don't know why. At some point, I did call someone, and fucking they couldn't pick me up and shit. However, my friend he was good to he started sobering up and shit, so he was good to drive. At some point I even fucking made him do laps around like the gas station, because I don't know, I felt like I was the one driving. You know what I mean? Like, I still felt like I was driving. That was just me tripping out and shit. So I made him do laps just so I can see that he was driving straight, at least. You know what I mean? And he was doing good. He did good. You know what I mean? So I was just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, you good, bro. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. He basically drove, and I basically asked him to drop me off home. I don't know why. This is my stupidest moment. Like, this is my dumbest moment, because honestly, we could have just fucking drove somewhere else, to be honest, and I could have just, but that, I don't know, it was my bad trip. I just don't know why. Like, I just felt like I needed to be home and shit. It just fucking does that shit to you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't I said my like pussied out, but that's just on me and shit. But my friend dropped me off home. I basically told him just to take my car and then just wait for me to sober up later on tonight, so then I can get my car back. You know what I mean? Because you can't sleep that shit off. You cannot sleep shrooms off at all. So when I got home, it was probably like 11 to 12. Everyone was already asleep and shit. The second I got into my room, bro, it was probably like horror movie in my fucking room, bro. Like, I looked outside and the trees started looking at me with this like evil frowning like face, like, you know what I mean? It looked really fucking creepy, and I just kept looking over at my trees because I thought they were talking to me and shit. And I left my Elden Ring game on. Like, my Elden Ring was still on like my computer. I don't know why, and my character was fucking like just staring at me. You know what I mean? Like, he was looking at me. He had I don't know if you guys ever seen. You guys obviously, some of you might play Elden Ring. You guys know I do. My character had the Okina mask on. If you don't know what that is, it's like the frowning samurai mask kind of. I'll show a picture of it, but it just looked fucking weird. You know what I mean? So then I decided just to lay down in my bed, just try to watch some YouTube, just to distract myself. I was watching Moist Critical. I couldn't even do that shit. That shit freaked me out because Moist Critical's face deadass started fucking shape shifting. Like, his fucking whole face just started morphing, and it just freaked me out. Because then he even started, like, I felt like he was communicating with me, you know what I mean? Like, I thought he was talking to me. He said something about shrooms or some shit. And I was like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I was fucking, like, tripped out. So then, after that, I basically, was just try to sleep it off. Like I said, you can't do that, but I didn't know that at the time. I just kept seeing shit, like just kept seeing things in my eyes every time I closed them. I even started reliving like hella like different lifetimes. You know what I mean? Like there's just some weird shit going on in my head where I felt like I wasn't even real anymore. You know what I mean? And it's not it wasn't like scary or anything. It just felt weird. Everything that I had that I was just questioning if like everything that I was going through was real and shit. You know what I mean? And earlier I mentioned how I was living different lifetimes. In those different lifetimes, for some reason, all of them just ended up with me like just vomiting like in the toilet. So I just kept trying to make myself vomit kind of, but like mentally, you know what I mean? So I kept using the bathroom and I couldn't. But every time I did, I looked in a mirror, and you shouldn't ever do that, by the way. Don't ever look at yourself in a mirror when you're on streams, because it does some weird shit to you. And I like experienced ego death, basically. I went through major fucking ego death. I just kept making weird faces and shit as much as I can remember from that moment. Eventually, I just started scrolling on Instagram. I called one of my friends, just telling him how everything went and shit. It was like my first time and shit. I had no idea shrooms took 8 hours. You know what I mean? It took like 8 to 6 hours, kinda. It takes a long ass time. You know what I mean? So it's always best to do shrooms early in the day and shit. Unless you're like a night tripper too. You know what I mean? If you're a night tripper, that's also good. You just like, I don't know, just probably should just do that shit at home or some shit. But basically, I was just on Instagram, and this picture of LeBron James popped up, and I have a screenshot of it. I'll show it. This picture, it freaked me the fuck out, and I don't know why. Like the second I saw that, I jumped. Like I deadass like jumped, and that was because LeBron like he had a third eye opening up in his forehead, and he just started like I see like his lips moving like he was talking to me. And that shit fucking freaked me out, you know what I mean? So I just kept just trying to wave the trip out, just trying to fucking ride the trip out and shit. Eventually I did get out of the trip. I did get out, and I was fine after that. It was just really fucking weird, you know what I mean? But after that, I haven't had any like bad trips since, you know what I mean? The last time I did it, I had a really good trip. So yeah, that was just how I did shrooms and how I had a really bad trip. Again, don't be doing any of this shit just because you saw me or other people do it. Just be safe, all that shit, you know what I mean? I do it just because I like trying new shit, you know what I mean? And like seeing how well I can handle it on like in the future and shit, you know what I mean? If I ever do it again, you know what I mean? So shit like that. But yeah, I just want to say thank you all for listening to this stupid ass story time. Moral of the story: always just do shrooms when you're in a fucking good household. You always just want to be in a safe fucking area, and you want to make sure you're always with good people and shit. But thank you all for watching this shitty ass story, and you guys don't know me. All right, anyways, peace.